This is my version of a nightmare on Elm Street. This isn't a honey-do project, it's more like a honey-don't project. I've done some big builds in my life, from big to small, like tiny. But let me tell you, there's nothing worse building something to spec to fit a place that's not plumb, level, squared, all those good things like, and there is no level used, no string used, nothing whatsoever where this thing should be fitted. So I didn't have any material long enough for this project to use exactly how I wanted it to be, and I was not going to go and buy material for this. So I used some scraps that I got lying around. So I decided I needed to make them one long beam. So the length we've been looking for is just under 3 meters. So I decided to lap joint them. Now lap jointing is risky because it's not the most strongest of joints to use, but it wasn't like this thing is gonna have to hold up the whole town or anything. I mean, it was a frost blanket and it's gonna have some bolts in the wall, and that's about it. The rest it can carry its own weight, so I was good to go with lap joints. So basically stepping through what we're doing here is literally just marking, measuring out and deciding which side will be the FOT, and FOT is flush on top. So here you will be seeing me marking the size of the lap joints that I want to do. So I was going in the vicinity of 25mm lap joints. So don't know if that's correct. Any woodworker inside the comments will probably let me know. No, you have to do it bigger. This worked for me. It's fine. Like I said, this thing doesn't need to carry the whole world of weight on it. So I went in 25mm in and then 19mm, trying to get the center of each of these scrap beams that I'm using. Now basically what you're seeing me here do is I'm just taking my handsaw to scribe a line where I want this cut to be. Look, usually I will make a cut and just on the side of my curve line and just go with it, and it will usually come out pretty dead nuts where I want it. But because this is a joint, you've got to be 110% sure what you're doing is absolutely 100% where you want this to be. And just like that, we've just cut out a piece to do a lap joint. I know it's not perfect, but hey, neither am I. My wife still loves me. And I'm not going to use any wood glue here. I'm just going to drill some holes, put it together with some screws, and just make one long piece of beam to go into fit in that specific space it needs to go into. So we will start off here by making our marks exactly where we want these two screws to go into. Then we will drill our pilot holes. Now we're just setting our screws and then screwing them in. Okay, this is where it gets very interesting. I didn't do a bunch of math or anything in that sense to get my angles here what I wanted to do. I just went to where I wanted this beam to go, put it up, and scribed the angle that I liked. So once I got my template made, it was rinse and repeat. Every time just putting it on the beam, making my mark, cutting it out. Repeat. Big thing to remember here is mark your sides, which is gonna be your front, which is gonna be your back, and where is FOT gonna be on this piece. And remember, FOT is flush on top. So make a mark on A, make a mark on B, and just keep in mind where your A is gonna be, your A needs to stay. So you can't do your cut and then decide, okay, B is here and A was there, but I don't like it, I'm gonna turn. No, it doesn't work like that. The first one you make, they all have to follow exactly the same length, exactly the same pitch. Otherwise this thing is going to give you a huge headache. So what we've got going here is we're going to start with this backing plate that's going to come up against the wall. So I want this thing to be as flat as possible to hit up against that wall. So what I'm about to do is I am going to countersink. So I'm going to make some countersink holes. I'm going to do some pilot holes. So you're going to see me here changing bits in and out. So the drill bit set that I'm using here is the Bosch set that I've had for a very long time. I've never had to sharpen it, never had any problems with it. It just tears through any type of wood that I throw in its way, just runs through it. So thank you for Bosch for making great quality tools, and I love them. You remember those A, B and FOT marks that we made on each piece with its radius? Now this is where it comes to play. This is very important to make sure that you've got your A to the side you want it and the B to the side you want it. So if your B is going to be running towards your backing, the easiest way to make sure of this is your pitch needs to run down level. If it goes up, you're going to have a piece of roof that's going to hold water. We actually want this to drain water and not hold it. Now this is a very long piece, so there's going to be a lot of rinse and repeat in this. It is basically like when your wife is telling you what to do. Rinse and repeat every time. Now make sure when you come to the middle part of your backing, the end part, then you definitely want to make sure that you're tying this thing on center of your beam, because if you don't do this on center, then you're going to have a lap joint that's not going to have any structural support tying it into each other. And because this thing is so long, you see me having to give traffic directions of which way I'm going to turn this around. And again, we are making sure that our joints are falling on center every time, except for the end joints, because the end joints, they need to either be flush or depending on the overhang that you are measuring to. Sometimes in life you need a helping hand, like exactly what I'm doing here. I need somebody to hold it on the side there so it doesn't fall off, because my workbench is way too small, even though the helping hand comes with a cost. And do you hear this sound in the background? It's like a chipmunk, like going in full speed. That's the sound of my wife using her favorite tool, her voice, non-stop. Now that we've got our pitch and our backing plate, those lap joint beams that we did in the beginning, it's time to set them up. Now you will see they are not flush on the sides, because I want a little bit of an overhang, because I want this to run not only past the wall on the face, but also running past the wall on the sides. Now guys, here is where my nightmare starts. Okay, so actually my nightmare started way in the beginning when I was measuring out for this, because I was in a hurry and I'm stupid and I didn't focus and I didn't see that the wall was not plumb, level, square. I didn't even notice that it wasn't worked off properly. So, problem I've got here is I'm gonna do the holes for the backing, which is useless in this case, because there was so many plaster in the way that chipping it off would have been a mess. And honestly, I had a look at chipping it off and I felt like this might be a bad idea, because I didn't really know how this wall was built in that sense, because it didn't look stable enough for it. Now I'm using anchor bolts here. Now you can do Hiltis, that's not a problem, but I'm using anchor bolts because of the unevenness of this wall. So I'm using very long anchor bolts here and ratcheting them in, because I believe this is going to hold for a very, very long time and it will be stiff enough. Because like any wife, when you put something up, they're always going to put something on top of it. So just make sure that it is anchored firmly to the wall. Now, having a little torpedo level cannot hurt to get this, making sure the bubbles in the middle. Thank you to Mastercraft for making such exceptional tools that they do. I'm a huge fan of Mastercraft tools. Now that the frame is up, we can actually go and put the frostnet on. So I've got some frostnet left of previous projects that I did. So I'm going to take some cut it into size, and then just zip tie them on. So while you guys are watching me work here, remember one thing, now I'm already hearing people that wood isn't treated. Wood can get wet, people. It's fine if wood gets wet. The problem is it also needs air to dry. So as soon as your wood gets wet and it doesn't have any air to dry, then you're gonna have a problem of rotting. But as long as wood has some air to dry, you are safe. Okay, so I thought I was done. No, I'm not done. How do you think you're going to be done when you're doing a honeydew project? You're never done. So what I need to do here is, because there's a flap that needs to hang over and close one part of it, the wind's just going to go all crazy on it. So I need some weight on it. So what I did, I just took a scrap board that I've got. Not going to give her my good stuff. Take the scrap board I've got, put it at the bottom, tie it up with a zip tie so it's got some weight to it, and then also she can just roll it up when she wants to, I don't know, plant something new, maybe trim some edges. I don't know what she's doing there, but you can follow her channel. It will be in a link in the description. You can go have a look on TikTok. Now remember, this part doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be tight, and that's good enough. I mean, I'm not perfect and my wife still loves me. And just like that, a Nightmare on Elm Street honeydew project is done. If you liked the video, please subscribe to get notified for any upcoming future projects. We've got a lot going on. Some new projects already on the way, so have a look at them.